All right, guys, the rain has cleared and we are gonna pour today. We got this Alaskan slab, monolithic slab to be more correct. There's the truck. We will get pouring. All right, guys, here's the finish. If you want to see how this was installed, watch the video. This is a 4,000 psi concrete monolithic slab, Alaskan slab. It's for a 2-car garage, power trowel finish. Stay tuned and watch us how we did it. 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, what we're gonna do first is pour these haunches. You always pour your deepest point first, so it sets up and it doesn't want to push as much. So try to get the base of that poured at least up to your 10 inches of your stone, and then the next truck, you know, fill in. All right, so what we do here is, like I said before, all this stone, we adjust the board as it goes, as we pour it in, because there's so much weight on it. And the way the site was, you couldn't really pin it that good. So we are adjusting it as we pour. Pour a little bit in the haunch, then backfill with the stone, then the top will be dead perfect. Like I said, always make sure you pull your wire up, get it under there, then it stays up in the middle of the creek. All right, guys, we got the haunch all poured, and those marks that we have in there with the orange stakes are screeds that we set to that string line. So you just put your concrete, there's the pin, see the pin? So that's set the height. You just put your concrete to that height, smooth it out, put an X on it. That way we know where to rake all that to that point. And then we also got the laser, we'll double check the shoot. So what we're doing here now is bull floating. It's all in and vibra-screeded, as you just saw. The next process is to float it down with this, and it just smooths it out until we can hit it with one of the machines, which is a trowel machine. And that's how you get a garage floor finish. All right, so the next step after bull floating is your edges. Always make sure your forms are clean like this. Scrape your forms off. Get all these rocks down on the edge like so, and then as it sets up, you'll have more. This is like a five-step process. Every time you hit with the trowel machine, you keep hitting the edges to make them nice. But so we just do a trowel width like this right on out. And just make sure all these rocks and these forms are clean and everything's the height, because when you go to strip, you don't want it to pop the top, or you just want everything to be nice and flush. And it keeps the forms all good for the next time too. But fill all your low spots first on the first hit, and make sure everything like this, how it's all like that, just fill it in. You know, take some cement, get it going like so. And then the next hit, do the same thing after we hit it with the trowel machine, and you'll see that in a little bit. But you have to let this set for about an hour. And concrete's totally different. Every pour is different. Goes with the temperature outside, the humidity, how far you are away from the plant, because it was set up in the truck. So it's really experience on that end. You gotta know when to get on it, because if you get on it too early, you'll just sink and make a mess and make the floor roll. And if you get on it too late, it's too hard and you can't work it and get it flat. So it's just all on experience. All right, what we got here is a pizza pan, as I call it. It's a pan to flatten the floor one hit before we put the blades directly on it. Not called for, it's just something special I do to make all the imperfections come out. So that goes, these blades, this machine sits right on here, locks right in here, and you'll see how that works. And it just really flattens the floor severely. All right, so that's the first hit with the pizza pie pan. I'll show you what that is real quick. That takes it's aggressive right on your body, holding that, because it's dragging the whole time, and it just circles and fills all the imperfections. Where if you just did it without that, it would still fill it, but not nowhere near as good. So basically, this is just a pan, like a pizza pan, steel, and it goes on, locks in those grooves right there on the blades. And now we'll hit it just with the blades, and I'll show you that in a bit. All right, so I'm gonna run this machine one-handed so I get some footage for you. Those blades are spinning, and you tilt them up with angles with that handle right there. I spin that handles, and that does the pitch of the blades. So the concrete, as it gets harder, you turn that handle up, and it brings the pitch of the blades up. And what Miko's doing is taking the same exact system, but on a hand trowel, and doing all the edges to match the finish we have on this edge. And he said I couldn't do it one-handed. Come on, Pitch. All right, so these blades here on the trowel machine are like these, a hand float that you have here. See how it's pitched there? That's pitched there. So the harder it gets, the more edge you put on it like this, which is the more edge you'll put on it here. So you run it like this, and then you pitch it up, it puts a finish on it. And the same thing, it goes with that. And this is the handle. You turn to the right to pitch it up, turn it to left to pitch it down, and you play with this back and forth as the conditions change, especially doing basements where there's beams on new construction, and then the sun is hitting the beam on one side and leaves a shadow in the floor. It'll be soft there, so you got to play with the blades, otherwise you'll get rolls in it. So on these edges, here's the finish, not finish, but here's the hit of the trowel machine, and you see it's a little different right there. So we just marry it all in, so everything always matches and stays the same color. You grab a little fat like that, you put it here, then you run the blade right back through, and it matches. It's a process, and experience is definitely on your side when you're messing with this material. I'll tell you that concrete is well, I can't say it on camera, but it is.